Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Boy, there's a good crowd after such a lovely party last night. This morning I was wondering whether there would be anybody here because that was really such a lovely evening. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do and how we do it and the kinds of products that we have developed. Pfizer Animal Genetics is a Pfizer business. It is a part of the animal health division within Pfizer. Animal Health is a leading company, global animal health company with revenues of about $4 billion. Our mission statement is not so different from many of yours sitting around this table. We want to provide products to assure a safe, sustainable global food supply from healthy beef, dairy cattle, swine, poultry, sheep, and fish. And in genetics, we work in dairy cattle, beef, and sheep. And we also want to help owners of dogs and cats provide an atmosphere so those animals live healthier and longer lives. We do focus on discovery and delivering products that we think bring real value to our customers. We're a leader in the discovery, development, and manufacture of veterinary vaccines and medicines. We have over 5,000 colleagues worldwide, and we have over 800 R&D scientists. If you look at just our genetics group, we have 12 PhD scientists in our group. We'll be hiring some more. In fact, we have 2 open positions right at the moment. And we have a real devotion to innovation and trying to deliver products that are really going to be cutting edge and really bring value to customers. Across our portfolio in animal health, we have leading veterinary products and services for livestock and companion animals. That includes the typical pharmaceutical kinds of products, some growth and efficiency products, biopharma products, and vaccines. We have 16 locations throughout the world in R&D. Our global headquarters are located in Kalamazoo, Michigan, but we go all the way to Shanghai and every place in between. If you look at just the genetics group itself, that business unit, we are located very specific parts of the world. We have our headquarters in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and the headquarters serves globally as well as functioning as the primary resource for North America. We have a facility in Sao Paulo, Brazil that serves our South American needs. And then we have a group in Melbourne, Australia, and also in Dunedin, New Zealand. Our animal health group leads the industry in the number of dollars that we spend on R&D. Not all of this is spent internally. In fact, a vast amount is spent externally. And I imagine a few of you sitting in the audience might have received some funds that help bring forth products that help our customers, since many of our customers are your customers as well. Also, if you look at the strategy that animal health has taken on, they've decided that it was important to think very globally about solutions for customers. And to do that, it meant they needed to stretch their wings a bit and think about what other product areas might be offered so that customers have a full range of possibilities. So the recent investments were my group in animal genetics, but we also purchased a diagnostics company, and we built really interesting platforms for quickly developing vaccines for emerging infectious diseases. So there's been substantial investment in thinking about how to bring total solutions to producers. And this chart has been alluded to several times in several of the talks I've heard so far, and this really is the core reason why Animal Health decided to incorporate a genetics division. The genetics group not only interacts across our total R&D units, it's amazing what the pharma and biopharma people are thinking about, how genetics can help their research. But it was also a way for the business to decide, or to think about what kinds of products we can offer to really enhance productivity, not just focus on disease. So within genetics, we offer a number of different products. As I said, we work in dairy cattle. We also work in Angus primarily, both red Angus and black Angus in the US, and have a global Angus product. We also have a Nelore product that has been launched in Brazil. In sheep, we work with Ovida in New Zealand to bring a Sheep 50K product to life. And we have numerous parentage products as well as genetic condition products. Too long and lengthy a list, but I invite you to go look on our website to see the sorts of things that we offer. Today, I'm only going to talk about two products. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our dairy product, and I'll tell you a little bit about our Angus product. When we first start thinking about what sort of products we want to focus on, we try to figure out where we could have the greatest impact to the customer. And when you look at this graph, it's very clear that as a Pfizer animal health business, we're on dairies every day throughout the world. And we see this as an opportunity for genomics to provide some enhanced predictions to help in dairy cow selection. And this graph depicts exactly what that opportunity is. The gap between the bulls and the cows is substantial, and if we could narrow that gap, it would mean that we would have more efficient, higher producing cows. So in 2009, we licensed some data, and we started looking at a targeted panel for net merit that would be based for the US. And as we looked at that, at the same time, there was this evolving effort from USDA, AIPL, the Council on Dairy Cattle Breeding, and Illumina to have a low-cost, relatively low-cost, panel of markers that could impute to the 50K and predict the important traits. At that point in time, we decided that that was probably the most efficient strategy for us to move forward in helping our customers because it was a very powerful tool. That panel, that LD panel of 6,900 markers or 50,000 markers that we've all heard about and you all know so well, we've taken the predictions that come out of USDA and we package those up into a product that helps producers make decisions about their operations. So you are well familiar with it. Those predictions cover 3 breeds, Holstein, Jersey, and Brown Swiss. They have 30 production, health, and type traits and 9 composite indexes. And we have offered this as a product to help our customers authenticate parentage and also bolster the reliability of genetic predictions and help manage inbreeding. Just as a side on the inbreeding, we have an intern in our laboratories today, Doug Bieland. He's a graduate student working with Kent Weigel at Wisconsin. And he's working on a new way to look at genomic inbreeding. And we hope that he's going to come up with a new strategy for us to really have something that is very highly accurate. I don't need to go into the details of this. You know the story of how the product that we call Clarified empowers female selection. Using just parent averages, you would not want to bet the bank on being able to select the best heifers for selection, even if you had the capability for voluntary culling. But certainly now, with the reliabilities up in the range that makes you feel very comfortable about selection of heifers, makes a lot of sense to think how producers can use this information to their benefit. I borrowed this slide from John Cole because I think it's just a great slide. For a moderately heritable trait like protein yield, if you were going to use just pedigree index, that's equivalent to about 7 daughters. If you add, however, the genomic index, it's equivalent to an additional 34 daughters. So that's a pretty powerful tool. But you really see the power of the genomics test when you have a very lowly heritable trait that allows you to advance that trait very quickly. So our goal is to bring strategies to the businesses that we work with to help them use the technology to really make money. So what does that mean? And I'll tell you, that's, as you all know sitting there, that's not necessarily an easy endeavor. We have products sitting on the shelf today that are really good genomic products, but we can't figure out how you would use it to the real benefit of a customer. So one real-world example is a strategic breeding program that we help a customer develop. This customer genotypes his heifers at birth. And Allison asked the question yesterday about selecting hair follicles out of a heifer, or out of those young animals. And in fact, that can be rather difficult because the hair shaft breaks. So Allison, in answer to your question, you need to make sure you have true bulbs if you're selecting those samples in that way, collecting samples in that way. But you could also pull ear samples with forceps or tweezers that usually come with the hair bulbs. So it's really kind of a whole strategy around selecting the right population to work with and having a strategy to help the customer make money. So in this specific example, we have a strategic allocation of sex semen on the top 50% of the genomic PTA heifers for net merit dollars. And so all of the heifers are genotyped, and then decisions are made on the farm on which of those heifers will actually bred with the sex semen, and those will be the progeny that will be retained for the next generation. If you look at theoretically what is possible in this specific dairy, today their cows average $126 in net merit. After the first round of selection of those young heifers, we know now that their average is $167 of net merit. We predict, if there's no biases in the estimate, that progeny from those cows will now be at $391 of net merit. So we can clearly demonstrate the value of doing the testing, the cost of the genotyping, on the future value of those heifers. Genetics is just one piece of the total puzzle that we try to bring to our customers. We also provide medicated feed additives for nutrition. We offer reproductive products. Milk quality would include our mastitis vaccine. And of course, we have a whole series of health traits. Our idea is that we want to bring solutions for the customers that are integrated, that we understand how our products work together, and that we brought something to the marketplace that really creates value for those customers. So the second product that I wanted to tell you about was our Angus HD50K. We supply this genomic test to the Angus Association in the US and in Australia, and we see the power of this test as a parentage panel, and today the American Angus Association has switched over completely to SNP parentage and provides a series of traits. Those traits can be put into a genetically enhanced EPDs, and they're also provided as a ranking score, a decile ranking score, so that producers can see how they rank genomically. These are the traits that are now provided, and the genetic correlation between the EPD and the MVP, as we call them, ranges from 0.32 for our milk prediction to 0.62 for our marbling score. We see that, and that was done in an independent validation. We see these as a very powerful tool for being able to make progress in Angus cattle. As the HD50K information is integrated into EPDs and accuracies, indexes and accuracy values, we think that that provides a really wonderful strategy for simplifying selection, mating, and marketing, because all the available data is integrated. So one of the strategies that we've employed is working with our customers who may be able to supply this information in that way. For example, our Nelore product offered in Brazil now is offered as a genomically enhanced DEP through ANCP. If you look at the value of the genomic information, I have several traits listed in this trait list. So Cavine's direct, birth weight, weaning weight, yearling weight, residual average daily gain, yearling height, scrotal circumference, docility, milk, mature weight, carcass weight, marbling, ribeye, and fat, for those of you that don't recognize all of those acronyms. The second column shows the average change in EPD once you've been able to add in the HD50K. And then you can see the average change in accuracy once you do have that genomically enhanced EPD from a basis of having only a pedigree index. So in other words, this would be the change in accuracy if you had no progeny or no progeny on that specific individual. And on the right-hand side, you can see the approximate progeny equivalence. So very quickly, you can see that if a producer is interested in trying to make genetic progress for a breeding index, you can see that this offers an advantage for being able to select those young sires at an early age. So I'm sure many of you are wondering how we decide what we're going to work on and where we get the information that we're going to use to develop and bring it to our customers. We have a very strict R&D pipeline precision process where we get ideas from our customers, from our salespeople, from R&D scientists. They come from everywhere, and they come across all species. Then we put them into a model that looks at where we can really bring value to customers, which means more revenues for us, obviously. But we're not interested unless we can really bring value and really can stand behind the products that we bring to market. Out of that, we make decisions on whether we can do the R&D and where we would actually need to go in order to get the leading, best science possible. So we can do that through sponsored research. We've had a number of sponsored research projects. We can do it through licensed technology, and I've given you some examples of those that we've worked with. We also have a very strong internal R&D pipeline, and we do lots of collaborative research that we find that that's a great way for us to get very targeted on what our customers need. So the way we approach how we do our science today to bring products to customers is we ask whether we can bring the synergies that we have within our R&D units and also within our sales force to develop solutions for our customers' challenges. So today we're very much a company focused on health, but we will see in the future we're going to be more focused on production and performance. We're going to have diagnostic tools that enhance and refine our genomics tests, and we're going to be able to move into a rational use of biopharma products. And then we're going to be able to tie that in with a really strong technical services team that can help our customers understand the products that we bring. And I want to thank you for your attention.